G'day viewers, it's the end of another week. Time for Totally Fucked Up Friday to reflect our totally fucked up world. And I want to start this week with a bit of a quiz, a brain teaser. Tell me what I'm talking about. No brains, no guts, no vision, no spine. Shit comes out its mouth. Which politician are you thinking of right now? Tell the truth, that's what you were thinking. And I would side with you. But it turns out this is a really odd creature that scientists have described this week. They found a few variants of it over the world. It's just this misshapen thing. As they said, it looks like a thrown away sock. Not very far on the evolutionary scale, this critter. It's incredibly primitive. I know, thinking of politicians again, right? And I honestly think they did miss an opportunity here, because the name it's gone with is Xenoturbella. You know, these things range from an inch to like 8 inches long, and they're just weird blobs. And you can cut them in half and they're symmetrical, but they have no internal organs, no bones, no eyes. There's only one opening. Although they've never been seen eating, the scientists assume they both eat and excrete through the one hole, hence the shit coming out its mouth. But Xenoturbella, well, kind of sounds cool and science fiction-y. I really think they should have gone with something that referenced, this is every politician you don't like. And I mean, no matter what your politics are, no matter what you're into, when you hear the no brains, no guts, no vision, no spine, shit coming out the mouth, you can't help but think of politicians. You know, and I'm pretty bad at Latin, but I'm thinking this should have been called something like politicus primarius. This is the primary example of what a fucking politician is. But, you know, it also made me think of a couple of the big losers from this week. And to me, the two biggest losers were the Trump and the douche. Trump was particularly funny to me. Stage one of the long, complicated, bizarre, drawn-out selection process for the nominee for each party's presidential candidate in the US. And Trump has been, I'm ahead in the polls, I'm great, I'm king. And then he didn't win, which, yeah, a bit of a shock. He was acting super calm on TV, but I can just imagine the meltdowns that happened behind the scenes in his private office. Trump's just a raging narcissist that's been shown again and again. And the one thing he's not going to do is accept he's a complete failure. You know, doesn't matter how many times he goes bankrupt and gets bailed out by other people's money. He's great. He's not a failure. He's not a fake. No, not at all. Oh, and he started saying Ted Cruz cheated. And hell, who knows? Maybe he did. I don't know. But historically, this particular little caucus means next to nothing, particularly for the Republicans. The person who wins that almost never wins the presidency. In fact, usually doesn't even win their nomination. One little side bit, this is what I've been saying for a while, in case you missed me saying it. Marco Rubio was a strong third. I'm still saying he's the one likely to get the Republican nomination, because the establishment hates Trump and they hate Ted Cruz. Good reasons both. Doesn't mean I'm a fan of Marco Rubio. I just think he's the establishment candidate who's going to get in there. We'll see how that prediction goes. The other big loser of the week, the douche I mentioned earlier in the week. This guy who's tells us all we should call him Douche, because apparently his real name's too difficult to pronounce and we'll always remember him as Douche. And he's got his gardening website, the Fern of Springs, I think it's called, where he encourages really sad, isolated, pathetic types to blame someone else for their problems and give him money. So this is the thing, everyone's been focused on the way this guy hurts women. I'd like to talk about how he hurts men. It's like, if, guys, you just stop giving people like this money. The idea he was going to have this global meetup, we're all going to come together, and was apparently surprised at the vehemence of the objections around the fucking world. Who knew? You go around saying ridiculous shit about rape should be legal on private property and bizarre retrograde things about women should basically be property and they're only valuable as a man values them for their looks, and men are... It's just... Hey, the 18th century was the 18th century, buddy. No one's going back there. And that's the thing. I don't believe he even believes the shit he writes. It's to exploit sort of sad, desperate, isolated men. Guys, don't give this person money. I swear, although all these meetups got cancelled, you will never be further from scoring a root in your life than hanging out with this type of crowd and listening to people like Doosh, okay? He's poison. Oh, and for the sick, fucking diseased apologists saying, oh no, the thing about rape, oh, that was satire. Yeah, you have to be intelligent to do satire, something Doosh completely fails. And this was hilarious. Actual thing that happened because there was such a vehement response to him saying these things were going to happen around the world, including lots of threats. And I do think it's quite stupid to seriously threaten harm to him or anyone who was going to show up to these things. That not on. That is a bad thing to do. That's not acceptable. I don't believe anything was actually going to happen in a violent sense at these events, but even just making the threats is not on. But Doosh called the cops saying, look at all these threats, I feel unsafe. And everyone's just going, oh my god, like if irony had sharp edges, you would have cut your fucking arm off. It's like the shit you say about how women should be treated, and just because people verbally express how unhappy they are with you, you feel unsafe? You can't have this meetup because it feels unsafe? It's fucking ridiculous. Oh, the one thing I was saying like, oh, we can't protect the anonymity of the people in here. No, they shouldn't have their fucking anonymity protected. If you're going to push this shit, you should be out and everyone should know exactly who you are so they can fucking avoid you. This shit is poison. It's awful. And for the people who are saying, it's satire, which is a note he only put on his website the day after he got listed around the world as rape champion and promoter of rape, yeah, well, that's plausible. But the thing is, even if you say if that article was extremely poorly executed satire, spend about 30 seconds questioning this guy on what is and isn't rape when you see what he says about what women should wear and they shouldn't be allowed to drink and various other things. It will become quite clear, quite quickly, he's very, very pro-rape. He's fucking vermin, and he's living in his mum's basement. When the cops went to respond to his complaint, they must have tipped off the media they were going there because the Daily Mail had photos. It's like, he's living in his mum's basement. I know mums are very forgiving, but seriously, how do you let that slide? Like, oh, little douchey, you're writing that women should be raped and they should be possessions and they shouldn't have any rights and shouldn't be educated. Well, didn't I do a good job raising you, you fuckwit? Oh my god, what a fucking loser. Seriously, because look, I understand sometimes it can feel like women are harsh to you, sometimes it can feel like feminism is targeting you specifically. This guy and people like him, the pickup artists, the neuro-linguistic programming types, they are hurting you far more than any woman is. Stay the fuck away from them. These people are fucked and they will ruin your life.